Hello everyone, my name is Katie and I am the Introverted Reader. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my TBR for November. I put air quotes around TBR because we basically use the term TBR very loosely in this household. I do pick out books that I would like to read, but sometimes I decide to change it up, or I sometimes don't finish it all. Very loosely in this house. Nothing's really set in stone. So, first and foremost, I just want to talk about a book that I am currently reading, but I'm not going to get it finished before October's over, and that is Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Like I said, I'm currently reading this. I am 203 pages into it. I have a feeling it's going to break me in half because already things are happening and I'm not prepared. But I picked this out to read in October, but obviously October is pretty much over and I haven't finished it. So I'm going to be finishing this in November. And our Introverted Reader Book Club pick of the month for November is going to be Mirage by Somaya Dowd. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but this is a young adult sort of science fiction, sort of fantasy sort of novel. And it's basically about this girl who lives in this really strict world. And one day she is taken to the palace. And for reasons unbeknownst to her, and she basically gets told that because she bears a striking resemblance to the current reigning princess, who no one likes, she is going to be the princess's body double. So if someone tries to assassinate the princess, they'll be killing her. So it's a very dangerous job, and it kind of sort of escalates from there. It is quite short. I don't know how it's all going to pan out, but I am really looking forward to getting to this. If you want to read this with me in the month of November, you are more than welcome, and I will be reviewing this in November. So look forward to that. Now, the next book that I plan to read in November is actually one that I attempted to read in October, but I put it down because just for reasons I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't connecting with it, so I put it down. So I'm going to attempt to read Beneath the Citadel by Destiny Soraya. I do really want to read this because there's supposed to be really good LGBTQ plus representation in this. And the premise of the story does sound really interesting, but to be honest, when I first attempted to read it, I barely got 100 pages in. I got 80 pages into it and I couldn't connect with anything whatsoever. I didn't know what was happening or what was going on and anything like that. So I'm going to just start afresh and listen to the audiobook this time. So hopefully I can connect with it a little bit more in that, because it is quite dense and I feel like maybe listening to the audiobook will make it easier on myself. So we're going to attempt to read that in November. The next book that I want to read in the month of November is Tower of Nero, the 5th book in the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. I love this series. I love anything that Rick Riordan has put out. This just came into my possession yesterday, day before, and I'm so excited. I'm just overjoyed that this is in my possession. I'm so excited to see how this series finishes off. It's basically a story about the god Apollo, and he gets banished to Earth, stripped of his godly powers for reasons he can't remember. And basically he has to go through all these different trials, hence the title, in order to gain back Zeus's favor and get back to Mount Olympus. But obviously there is a lot more to the story than that, but I don't want to give away too much, but I'm super excited to get to this. Super excited. The next book that I want to read in the month of November is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. You've probably seen this in my hands before because I said that I was going to read it during the Disney readathon, but then I ended up switching it for something else. But in November, it is going to happen. I'm going to read this. I'm actually going to read it. This is actually an Owl Crate edition that I got, and it's signed by Amanda Foody, which is really awesome. So this was one that I got in an Owl Crate, and I haven't read it yet, but I feel really bad. So I'm going to be reading this. Basically, all I know is that our main character's mother goes missing, and she has to basically venture into this like Las Vegas-esque sort of city in order to find her and get her back, and that's really all I know. But yes, I'll be reading that in November. The next book that I want to read in the month of November is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chow. This is book 2 to The Eldest Curses. You're basically following Alex and Alec and Magnus. I nearly very well said Malik there, but if I said Malik, you guys would know what I'm talking about, right? These, I know that the first one is supposed to be set sort of in between the Mortal Instruments. So there's like the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments, and then there was supposed to be the first book in this series. I think this one is meant to be like way far off within the Shadowhunter world. I think this is supposed to be even like either after or before the Dark Artifices. I'm not entirely sure. Anyone that's better at the Shadowhunter timeline than me, tell me when this is supposed to take place, because I can't remember. But yeah, really excited to read this. Can't really give a synopsis because obviously spoilers, but I'm super excited because I love Alec and Magnus. I mean, who doesn't love Alec and Magnus? The next book I want to read in the month of November is one that I meant to get to in October, and that was The Damned by Renee Ahdieh. I picked, oh, we match. Oh, look at that. Anyway, I picked this out to read in October, as you guys know, but obviously I didn't get to it. You'll find out why during my wrap up for October, which will be coming soon. But yeah, I want to get to this. It's the sequel to The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, and it's set in 18th century New Orleans. In the first book, our main character, basically she lived in Paris and something really traumatic happened in Paris, and she basically gets on a boat with a bunch of other girls and sails away to New Orleans in order to start a new life for herself. But then these mysterious murders start happening throughout New Orleans, and there's like a supernatural aspect in there. This series was said to be the series that was going to bring vampires back into young adult fiction. And I was really, really excited about it. And I read The Beautiful, and The Beautiful doesn't really have that much of the vampire aspect to it, which is fine, it's whatever. It was still a good book, which is why I'm continuing with this, but I'm really hoping that this will have more of the vampire side to it, because it doesn't have to be October for me to read a vampire book, honestly. So those are all the books that I hope to get to in the month of November. Let me know if you are going to be reading Mirage with me, because you guys were the ones that picked it on Twitter. So I'm really hoping some of you will join me in November reading that. Let me know what you're going to be reading in the next month or so. I hope you're all doing well. Twitter, Instagram, down below as always. Feel free to follow me on those. I update on there quite a lot. And I will have my wrap up for October coming for you guys very soon. Bye.